Guys, Crypto Freedom, I'm back with another ICO. This is XYO Network, which is a very interesting one. The first thing I want to say is these guys already have 1 million location verifying beacons globally, which are GPS and Bluetooth. They allow you to track basically a parcel, a car, diamonds. The ability to do a lot of this stuff is endless in the sense that there's many things that you could utilize this on. Myself, I could see this being used in facilities management, where I need to know if people have actually done some servicing, because obviously if I can identify that people have been to a specific site or specific equipment that's been purchased for a specific task, I can verify they've been there. Now, the other part of this being, which is why the token is important, is you can have a trustless environment in the sense that as long as, say I ordered a water pump for something and I need it to go to a location, which could be a hospital, if that actually reaches the hospital, it could actually generate an automated payment rather than somebody then invoicing me to say it's been delivered last Tuesday and nobody's told me it's there. It's a case of the token on the beacon would actually be able to identify that the package is in that location and verify that it's there. As such, it's trustless because it doesn't rely on whether I trust them or not. It's actually there. It's proven because it identifies it. So the first thing I would say is this is ICOs in 11 days. Watch this video, but what you're looking at is basically a system that allows the proof of the location of pretty much anything. You know, it could be used for drone deliveries, could be used for autonomous cars, it could be used for tracking a stolen car even, because you can identify where it is. So this is the technology, and why use this over GPS, which is mentioned here. I'll give you an example. There was a Renault Clio I hired in the UK. I only had it for a couple of months while I was waiting for my new car. Its GPS was diabolical because I was stuck in Portsmouth the 1 week, and I was heading back home, and what it did is it didn't tell me it lost its signal. As such, even though we're on the wrong road, it just adapted where it was and just followed the road regardless. It was about an hour later I realized I was an hour in the wrong direction. But the point being, GPSs get blocked by fog. They get blocked by cloud cover, which can make it unreliable, but also it doesn't have the ability to become trustless. Unless something's changed in recent times, where it could identify some things at my door. And the other side of this being, if you've got multiple beacons, like they said, they've got 1 million beacons already. If a parcel is on its way to its house, on the way to your house, it would have the ability to actually ping to say it's within 5 miles, which means you know roughly when it's got to get delivered. Because if you know a lot of these parcels, I mean, I order stuff from all over the world. I have no idea when half this stuff's going to arrive. I mean, even an Amazon delivery this week, down for 2-day delivery, it's arriving next Monday, which was a week, ordered last weekend. So it's literally taking 9 days to get delivered, which is terrible because I paid extra for a 2-day delivery, but never mind. The point being is with that sort of delivery, you can actually see when is it left the warehouse, when is it in transit, how far along is it in whatever. Is it 5 miles from the house, or are you still going to be waiting a couple of days? The technology would be there to make that all possible. Now, I would say read their website. It's fairly expensive, and they do cover a lot of stuff relating to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and why their token's important. But I do recommend reading this stuff yourself because it is very comprehensive. There's a lot of information. The business is not new. It's been up and running since 2012, I believe. Apology, I'm getting a dry throat. So they've got 1 million Bluetooth and GPS trackers around the world already, and they're the first company to do it. Now, the crowd sale, after the XYO token generation event ends in a matter of weeks after it begins, and possibly sooner, depending on transaction activity. Every unsold token, XYO token, will be burned forever, creating a true incentive and an opportunity for those who participate during the upcoming token sale. So any excess tokens will be burned. Now, you can actually get on the wire sale right now. You can get on the ICO sale in 11 days. You can get whitelisted right now. A lot of social media coverage. I do recommend any investors to hassle people, get information, double check everything with them to make sure it's something you're interested in. I do want to verify that the XYO tokens are not representative of an equity or a security. XYO tokens are used for transacting with the XYO network and critical to leveraging cryptoeconomics to maintain a healthy ecosystem that rewards providers of accurate location signal providers as well as those who transact XYO tokens. You can learn more on the green paper. We'll cover the papers in a minute. So there's documents all over this, to be honest. You can also mine as well. There's GPS mining, Bluetooth miners. Have a look at that yourself. Have a look at the links, because this is probably one of the most expansive ICOs I've come across so far, and I can't cover it all in this short video. So the first thing I want to say is there's a technical white paper. You're going to find that you're not going to get a lot out of that. That is it, because it really is a technical white paper. You know, if you want to understand the business, have a read. There is a pitch deck as well, which is actually longer than the white paper. And we've covered mostly what it does. And what I want to look at, if we can find it, yeah, it's down here. So a bit about the network, decentralized, trustless, identityless. Have a read of that yourself. Why it's important. How do we do it? Proof of origin. Come on, speed up. I'll let that load. The network components, the sentinels, diviners, archivists, and bridges, how it all works through the smart contract. As I said, with a smart contract, it validates because the sender has already put a tag or something on the parcel or whatever that's been sent out. It gets to your location, and the beacon can validate it's physically there. The two pieces then activate the smart contract. It's as simple as that. And there's many reasons you can do this, and it's very expansive what you can use it for. As I said, from straightforward to complex, that is the XYO network. Where's that just jumped from? We were here. Yeah. So the miners, sentinels, bridges, activists, diviners who take part and answer queries to the XYO network. In this pool, if a majority of XYO miners are of a low quality, the entire pool of XYO miners can vote to set the location verification bar low. However, as soon as more competitive machines are introduced to the pool, the system votes to increase its ideal state of the system. Have a read on that as well. We use XYO tokens to incentivize the desired behavior of the providing accurate, reliable location heuristics. XYO tokens can be thought of as gas needed to interface with the real world in order to verify the XY coordinate of a specified object. Works like a token holder. First queries the XYO network with a query agent, whereas my e-commerce order package with XYO address XYZ. The query then sent in a queue. When it waits for the process and answer, user can then set the desired confidence level and XYO gas price at query creation. The cost of a query in XYO token is determined by the amount of data required to provide an answer to the query, as well as market dynamics. So there's a few bits and pieces on there. No doubt it's also on demand. So it's a bit about this, and then let's just cover the main sale. So it starts March 20th, ends May 20th. One token, let's just cover that. 1 ETH equals 100,000 XYO tokens. All unsold and unallocated tokens will be burned after the token sale event. For every token sold to the public, one token will be generated for XY, the Findables company. 3.2 billion tokens will be pre-generated for the company and team. Now, I assume this will go down in the sense that if it's 1-to-1 ratio, surely that will reduce when this is burned as well. But I recommend confirming that one to get a full value of the amount of tokens being generated. Please keep in mind that XY tokens do not represent equity. We've already covered that. This above represents the starting price. The public token sale has tiered pricing structure that start at 1 ETH, 100,000, maxed out at 1 ETH equals 33,333 XYO. Details regarding our volume and time-based pricing structure will be announced soon, so I can update that for you. Bit about the token, the address, etc., etc. Burn token sale, blah, blah, blah. And no doubt the full amount of tokens will be updated on this as well. How it will be broken down is 40% of the tokens will be used for network growth and marketing, 5% support for Ethereum platform projects, 5% overheads, 15% XY Oracle network platform operations, 35% engineering and research and development. The team are pretty well rounded. We got the team up here actually. Yeah, we covered the one pager. We pretty much covered it in more depth anyway than the one pager. So what I want to do, cover the roadmap, and then I'll go back to the team. So XY releases groundbreaking GPS tracking device, the XY GPS. That's in 2017. XY released the XY4 Plus device. XY leaves the XY Plus device, which makes it capable of operating as an XYO network node. XY crosses the 1 million beacon mark. Block-based Oracle network is born. And first and second quarter, tokens are generated. Complete XYO test network, XY testnet. And by third and fourth quarter, we're looking at launch XY Oracle main network and XY to complete API for smart contract developers for interact with the XY Oracle network. Release XY sticky-based trackers, which can be added to e-commerce packages. This is when it starts to get interesting because this is where it starts hitting the real world, and as such will have a huge impact once it gets mass adoption on parcel deliveries, but obviously it's going to go on a lot more than that. By 2019, XY to grow global network of diversification, locations, sentinel devices, XY to launch Satoshi XY and Vitalik XY LEO satellites, which are, I think they're low orbital. Yeah, Earth orbital satellites, but I think they're low orbit. XY to onboard larger businesses, organizations, and retail companies that have use cases for location verification. And by 2020, XY to expand global reach to the entire XY Oracle network. So, as always, I do say research the stuff yourself, and we'll go over to the team. The team have been around for a while. Ari's in my generation where, I started on the BBS stuff he's talking about here in, I think it was 1991. So have a look at them. Get a feel for them, see what they've done before, what businesses they've run themselves, what companies they worked for before, what their engagement is, and all the LinkedIn are there, so you can get all that information. But it's definitely one that has a massive market. It's definitely one that can find a lot of usage. At the end of the day, it's whether your car's stolen, you want to track it and find it, whether it's your parcel being delivered, whether it's looking for a wheelchair from a hospital, where it went, because these sort of things disappear on a regular basis, or tracking things around buildings. There's a lot of reasons that this will work, can work, and has a lot of customers. The only thing it needs is mass adoption once it gets through the ICO. I'll put the links below as usual, and thanks for watching.